Bong, it's so
Okay.
nice to have you here. How are
Lovely.
you?
Yeah. Good, doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well too, thank you. So, as the last executive director of WaterSHED, it is my very honor to have a conversation with you, the first ED of WaterSHED. So much of WaterSHED strategy and success was built on the formative years where you set the course and identity of this organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, like a little bit about Bong Hengly. Mr. Aun Hengly is one of the co-founders of WaterSHED in 2011 and was ED until 2014, where his work is the first strategic phase of WaterSHED focused on developing a product system, creating a delivery model, initiating consumer marketing, where local officials were included in the process from the beginning. Today, Mr. Hengly is based in the United States, where he worked as the product development specialist and a software developer for Boost Capital in California, United States. I took over in 2018 after WaterSHED's second phase, where the sanitation market was stable and WaterSHED shift focus to government capacity building to maintain the market. So my first question to you, Bong, when you began at WaterSHED, it was unheard of selling toilet. Could you tell us more about the origin of WaterSHED market-based approach?
Yeah, thanks, Wata. It's very nice to meet with you today too. Back in 2011, where the situation in Cambodia was very different. At that time, the sanitation coverage is around 19 across the whole country, I believe. Many organizations and government agencies have been working very hard to improve water and sanitation coverage in Cambodia. Most of them, they work through subsidized program. As you know, subsidized, you may not able to reach much because you give the toilet to everybody, which is basically it's not scalable. In the long term, the business is the sustainable way. Before we establish a WaterSHED, we bring all the partner and stakeholder go and observe our selling pitch. The first selling pitch, there is the event that people together, all community people come and gather, and on our first selling pitch, there are 118 toilets sold, registered to buy. Prior to that, I went to talk with the supplier too. He say, no problem. If there's demand, he will make the supply. But when we bring 118 toilets registered to buy to him, he was shocked. I said, gosh, he thought maybe only a few, but it's 118 that were for sale. So everybody was shocked and surprised and very, very happy. We had to face another challenge is how are we going to scale from that village to other village across the country? And so we need to think strategically how. And we found out that in Cambodia specifically, structurally, at the structural level, provincial level, district level, commune level, and village level, they have staff at all levels that implement the government national policy or guideline. And one of it is improve water and sanitation. So through that structure, then we find out, okay, we can apply the sustainable by working with local authority and local sales agent and local supplier that's sustainable. And scalable is we integrate the commune council responsible for water and sanitation. And so we apply our four main prong approach is working with the sales agent, supplier, local government, and conduct selling for them, with them. Yeah.
Thanks, Bong. It really was a unique and effective strategy that pushed what people thought was possible. So my next question is, what was the effects of this program for small businesses and for WaterSHED staff who had to be the advocates and practitioners of this radical approach for that time?
Okay, WaterSHED is a local organization, and it's very, very important to be have to be a local organization. WaterSHED work with existing supplier. We don't have to build a new business in the community. Of course, if anybody want to invest in their community, we will have them for the sale and marketing as well. I personally achieved my dream by seeing those businesses so successful. Many were small and very little money when they started, and now they are big and grow. And somehow they are at 100,000 or a few millions dollars. It's also important to me to have our staff too. Most of the staff, WaterSHED staff at the time, I believe is in average, we are below 21 years old, I think, when we calculate at that time. Most of them are fresh graduate or they not even go to the university yet, or they can't afford. But now many of them, they become a successful business. And I still in touch with them. Some of them become very wealthy and in real estate, and they continue to apply our strategy. They adopt what WaterSHED had been applied, and I can say many other business they adopt that too.
Thank you, Bong. By the way, there's one thing I like to ask you. It's about the per diem. We all know that per diem is a common practice that NGO will pay to the government official to support our work or join our program. And one thing that WaterSHED is very well known for in the community and also within the government, that we don't pay per diem to the government counterpart. And even now, when we have a new staff, they feel somehow uncomfortable not giving the per diem. That sometimes they even want to give their own money from their own pocket. But when you started, you were the first to say no to per diem. How did this philosophy develop, and how do you make it work?
Yeah, thanks, Vata. It reminds me so much the tough life of mine, tough part life of mine. At that time, it's not easy to involve the commune level into the program without paying their per diem, because they used to with many other organizations. Every organization go to work in the commune level. Yeah, the money come. So basically, you pay them to do their job. So NGO pay government to do their job. So that doesn't sound right to me and to our donor and our management team. We've been fighting with that norms, and it's not easy, and not many people like me at that time. A lot of bad words I heard that, oh, you are Cambodian, why you care so much about the money that donor give already. And so it's not about that. We have to explain them. It's about sustainable, but more important, it's a lot of money to pay them too. And they have the salary to do their job. And the question why they don't do their job, and maybe influence from outside factor is from the other organization that always pay them, or maybe the per diem they got from the government is not enough. We understand that. And so how to make the local people work to do their job if they don't have enough, and they have to do their job, example. So that's why we introduced the sales agent strategy. Part of the four-prong approach is be looking at the gap. If you have a job and responsible to improve water and sanitation in your community, but if you work with the supplier, you will get incentive, plus the toilet much cheaper than the market at that time, because we introduced the bulk buying. Like normally they sell only like 4 toilet a month, but with this program they could sell to 150 set of toilet a month. And buying toilet is not just about the toilet, it's about many other material along to be a toilet as well. So money that way, when the sales agent, the local authority become the sales agent, they can get incentive, plus they still have their basic salary to cover their expenses, and they get a credit to improve their water and sanitation in their community. So that's why, again, we see this opportunity is a sustainable way. See, with our watershed, they still able to do it and continue to work with the local supply as well.
I also like to share with you that your philosophy has continued until now. There was a time during my time at WaterSHED, we asked the provincial team because they used to complain for not giving the per diem and refreshment. So we asked them like last year, I guess, if they would make a decision, not me anymore, but if they would make a decision, will they give the per diem and refreshment to the government meeting right now? And you know what is their response? Their response is no. And I
That's
asked
good.
why. I asked why did you say no? Because you and some of our team been asking to pay your own money because you feel it's very difficult to deal with the government. And then that team said, we've been working very hard for years to build this momentum, to build this philosophy. Now it's work. The government already pooled their own resource for their own per diem, for their own refreshment. And some NGO in the same province start following WaterSHED. So to them, they feel that it's really a legacy they left behind, and it's for them it's their value that they are able to do this, to work with the government without using the money. So I really like to thank you for building this foundation for this philosophy. Thank you. So my next question is WaterSHED was also unique in the way that they do not create branded training or program. Can you explain your thinking on this?
Yeah, sure. At that time, many big organizations that working in the sanitation marketing sector uh, push toward that NGOs to create a branding to gain trust, to gain so on. But I say no, because I don't see any value added creating brand beside of their ego. When I say ego, is who will get credit from that. Oh, the A organization build its brand and many people buy. So what's the point? The point, they get more funding money, basically. People want to have brand, and people want to be a trust NGO for selling. But again, I say no. I don't see any value NGO promoting that. But if the local business they promoting that, yes, go ahead. It's your effort, your energy put in. Again, we want to make sure that local business and local authority feel ownership of whatever they do.
So thanks a lot. And my next question is about you as the founder of a Cambodian organization. Can you share more about your perspective in including local staff?
Yeah, at the time, again, Jeff Revel is the co-founder of WaterSHED, among with Lynn McLennan and Danielle Petty. They give me space and opportunity to try what is the best for the program and for the people of rural Cambodia, not for WaterSHED. One thing I want to point out is that Lynn, Jeff, all of Danielle, all of them used to be my boss. And later on they become my employee. I want expatriate staff, especially in Cambodia or developing country that working in the developing country, to look the example of Lynn and Jeff and Daniel, like how they did it. Again, when we beginning, they used to be my boss. They support me, train me, help me, guided me, and share knowledge with me about their perspective. Of course, ultimately, I'm the one that decide for the organization. And I can tell you, so far, I don't see any organization do that. And more important, I'm the one that review their performance, and I decide how much they get for their salary, whether they increase or they fire. I think that I'm very fortunate to know them and to work with them. People always ask why I'm go to the field most of the time. Why you go to field a lot? You are the CEO. You should stay in the office. And I can tell you, my skin still has a burning from the sun in Cambodia. Until after I live in the US for a while, and still have that burn. I think I am grateful that it marked as a one of the good time in my lifetime to work with them and to work in this program for sanitation marketing. As a Cambodian leading this organization, I wanted to lead by a good example, basically, at the time. I consistently meet the supplier, consumer, and the government on the ground, really build connection and understand like what else can we improve our program to ensure the sustainable and scalable. That's the role for expatriate from my point of view, to support local staff. It's to guide and to support, to explore new ideas, because local people, we have our own ideas how things work if they really put their mind in to make sure to want things to work. We have our own ideas. So the expatriate, they can share their knowledge from the other part of the world and combine together. I believe hopefully it become a great idea between expatriate and local people because they have one goal. Our example, we have different ideas, but so far since we have one goal, we accomplish things. I see the expatriate that work from US, Canada, and other country, they are CEO for life. They just follow the same system. Is that really sustainable development? This question I ask for any expatriate and to local people too. But I just want everybody to think every day that you do, every time that have expatriate, what's the purpose in the organization? And another question I want to put out there is, where's the money go? Like if the expatriate been working there for decade, not just a few years, decade. And so I believe the salary of the expatriate is maybe 5 times or 10 times compared to the management of Cambodia. So most of the money will go to those expatriate, and the money, where does money go? So who will lead the change in the development when there's no incentive for them to do their job security and income? The question is really what is successful, what is sustainable by empowering local people is the answer. I want people to know that the real development is not the success of their organization, but it's the people in the country.
Thank you, Bong. I learned a lot from this conversation. And you know, for me personally, I really learned from your work, success of our program, and due to your strong foundation and leadership building this market for rural sanitation and also for watershed culture of pushing the boundary of what is possible. So in these final days as an ED of Watershed, I'm very proud to finish your legacy, our team legacy, that you and other founder began. And I'm confident that system are stronger and the correct actor in the system are positioned to continue to grow and evolve watershed work after our exit. So thanks a lot for your time today, and I wish you all the best there, and we all safe from COVID and live happily. And we will invite you again for our exit ceremony online.
Thank you, Sovattha. You did a great job. And yeah, I'm so proud and pleased to hear that WaterSHED really have a plan of exit, unlike many other organizations. They want to be organization for life. I don't know why, but grateful. Thank you. And good luck for your next journey. And wish everybody at WaterSHED have a successful life after WaterSHED.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. Please stay in touch. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.